here with Rachel Hill, a consultant with Saracor HCA, and we're featuring her career success in Military Spouse Magazine coming up here. We've loved getting to know her a little deeper, and we'd love for you now to get the chance to just hear about the inspiring person that she is and how she got from the beginning to here and everything in between. So thanks for joining me, Rachel.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess just to start out, can you just tell us a little bit about your journey as a military spouse? I know we kind of covered this a little bit, just how you got here and what that has looked like and the challenges that it's brought to your career.
Sure. So my husband and I just celebrated our 10-year anniversary last month. So it's been 10 years as a military spouse. When I was kind of introduced to this whole world, I had not really had any experience whatsoever, so kind of didn't really have a good understanding of what I was diving into. We met when I was a nurse in North Carolina. He was stationed at Fort Bragg, and he was active duty at the time, Special Forces, and we got married 6 months, engaged 4 months after we met, and got married 6 months after that. So it was a very whirlwind romance for sure. So within the first year, he was deployed 9 days after we got married. So very, very swift introduction to the military lifestyle. We waited about 5 years into our marriage to have kids. And I knew as a, as a nurse who worked in the hospital, that was going to be very difficult with his career field. So I was eager to find something that would allow me the opportunity to build a career myself. And so that's kind of been my experience with, the military, but it's been definitely a learning experience. Each move, we've lived in, I think, 5 different states, going on 6 in the last 10 years. And I'm sure many military spouses can totally relate to all of the trials and tribulations that come with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially the whole whirlwind marriage situation starting out. Definitely not the first time we've heard that story.
Yeah.
What drew you to this specific career? Was it the nursing background? Kind of how did you find yourself here?
It was actually a fellow military spouse when we were stationed, I believe, at Fort Campbell. I was a nurse at Blanchfield at the time, working as a triage nurse. And she was a consultant at the time, and she had asked me, are you interested in the business side of healthcare? Mm-hmm. And I remember saying, I don't really know what that means, but tell me more. So Nashville was about an hour from Fort Campbell, and went out for an interview, had really no idea kind of what I was signing up for, but it sounded like something that could be long-term. Really loved the idea of it being a remote opportunity that could transfer with me. The biggest thing about being an RN, there is so many opportunities, for nurses. And as you move, it is really usually pretty easy to find a job. The unfortunate part about that sometimes is that, working the night shifts and the holidays and all that as you're starting new and starting over each time you move. For people that are active duty that do move quite often, that is a challenge, especially when you have young kids. So with that, it was kind of starting very entry level. I've been with the company now 7 years. And just celebrated my 7-year anniversary last month as well with the company. And just really getting my foot in the door and kind of seeing what it was all about. And so I started out in support for that first 7 months, and quickly kind of identified the next department of the company that I was interested in.
That's awesome. That seems, so you've worked with them right up since before you even had kids. It kind of gave you that transition, that foothold that you were saying that you really needed. So that's awesome. And then it's transitioned with you. You kind of hit on a couple of challenges in there that we hear often, especially just with keeping your career, putting all this work in, moving once again, starting over from scratch. And I know so much has improved for spouses in that. What do you think in those last 7 years has been the biggest challenge that you've had to overcome for this specific career?
Sure. I've held, I think now, 4 positions. This is the 4th position that I've had in the company. And one of the biggest things is, as military spouses, we are very adaptable and very resilient. And I'd like to say very persistent. And I think that's been, something that I've really shown to the company with the time that I've been there. But one of the challenges has been, the ability to have to be remote and stay remote, as, a lot of our spouses are traveling, they're deploying their TDY and all that. And I just can't travel all the time. So maintaining a remote position that allows me to progress in my career has been a little bit of a challenge, and hence why I've kind of switched roles and switched departments to kind of get where I need to go.
That's great that they could work with you instead of just saying, oh, you're moving, we're done, but just say, hey, let's find out where you can fit, where you can move, or we can move along with you.
Right.
Which says a lot about the employer, and yourself. Is there anything in that was a challenge with, like, I know I hear a lot about like licensing, certification, anything like that, moving state to state along with this on the administration side that has been presented a challenge to you, or not?
Well, the wonderful thing about working in a lot of healthcare IT roles is that they are usually not clinical. There's usually not clinical requirements. So although I am an RN, I'm not required to be an RN for my role. It's just usually helpful because your clinical background helps you to understand, kind of what the software is doing and trying to accomplish, as well as that clinical workflow that is going on in the hospitals. Mm-hmm. So I do not have to maintain my license. I do maintain my license just because I worked so hard to get it. And just also, if something happens, having that clinical license still active, could be very beneficial.
Yeah, that's great. So there's challenges, but we think military spouses are just the best employees. And that's why we advocate for them to have the career that they want, no matter if they're moving all over or not, they're valuable employees. So what kind of advantages do you think you offer a workplace as a military spouse that might be different from another employee?
I think one of the biggest things, and this has come with time, is just being so adaptable, especially in healthcare IT, probably IT just in general, any kind of technology field. Things are always changing. Things are changing. They're adapting. They're breaking. You're fixing them. They're working for a little while, and then they're changing. You're breaking again. So we are just so familiar with that type of, like, here's what we're doing. We're going to go all in on this plan, and then this plan changes completely. So I think that is one of the best attributes that we can provide to the workplace, is just being extremely dynamic and adaptable.
That's amazing. And something I bet that most employers would take even over some hard skill or something, just the willingness and the ability to, overcome anything that comes your way. And that's going to make you the best employee. Switching gears a little bit, I know you're a mom to two lovely tiny humans. So how has becoming a parent kind of influenced your career aspirations and passion or drive as you made that transition with the same company without kids, and then now being a mom to kids and still in pursuing that career and pursuing your dreams?
Sure. I give, so many kudos to those, moms who, go into work every day. They don't have the ability to work from home, because this has been really a game changer. The ability to have that work-life balance to where, I can look at my meetings, and if I've got a sick kid, I can run out to daycare and pick them up, bring them home, and then, jump on that meeting, or potentially, move to another day. Just having that flexibility and that work-life balance has been just, like I said, life-changing. I don't see, if I had to go back into the office, I would do that. But I am very, very grateful for the opportunity to, work from home and travel very minimally.
Yeah, that's great. What advice would you give to spouses who are trying to break into this specific field, kind of like where to start, what maybe skills that they should be working on in themselves to kind of help them have a level up to get into this field?
I would say, communication is so very important. Taking leadership courses, communication courses, reading books about, those different areas. I would say one of the biggest things is, if you have a desire to, have a career of your own, not being afraid to just get out there and try something new. I did, have a little bit of a a difficulty transitioning from being an RN who was, using all of my skills, helping patients, in real time, to transitioning into healthcare IT, where I have a little bit more of a, a back end, outcome to the patients in the facilities. So I did feel a little while there was a lot of adjustment there, but just not being afraid to try something new that's going to be beneficial for you both mentally and for your family. So that's probably what I would recommend.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So what's next for you, whether that's professionally or personally? Do you have goals to write a book, just status quo right now, a podcast, anywhere that we can kind of connect with you, or just share what you have to offer this community?
Sure. We are getting ready to PCS to North Carolina, back to Fort Bragg. So we'll be doing that. I've just been in this new role for about 3 months. So they are aware of that move and just kind of working through that while moving. And this is the first move with 2 kids. So just kind of like adapting to all of that and getting settled. We're really excited about that. But I really don't have any plans on writing books or podcasts or anything like that. To be honest with you, I did have that, but I'm in this part of my life where I'm just trying to be really present and really set personal boundaries with my time and just be there for my family. So, but yeah, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. Always happy to help other military spouses. They can feel free to reach out by email or whatever is best for them.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. You guys can read more about Rachel and this opportunity and this company and her experience in this new issue of Military Spouse Magazine. So thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.